Hi everyone, and welcome back to our second podcast on our channel. Today we have a special guest with myself and Lauren. We would like to introduce you to Kirsty, who has joined us from the Education Department of Melbourne. Kirsty has come out to us today to support us and see if our school is implementing cultural diversity effectively and appropriately.
How are you, Kirsty?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on your station.
Thanks for coming out.
I am Kirsty and I go around to different schools in the western suburbs of Melbourne and assess how schools are incorporating cultural diversity within the classroom. Cultural diversity is something that isn't explored and used to an advantage enough. So we'll start with your school, Golden Hill Primary. Jessica, how do you feel that your school and teachers include cultural diversity within your education system?
All teachers here have a cultural responsive approach to teaching, and that is something we strongly implement and make sure our teachers are doing. I've looked into Geneva Gay, which is a professor of education and also has her own book, Culturally Responsive Teaching, which we often refer to. It says that culturally responsive teaching is using cultural knowledge, prior experiences, frames of reference, and performance styles of ethnically diverse students to make learning encounters more relevant and effective for them. One example of how we include cultural diversity in our school is that every classroom has something we call the Culture Corner. In this corner, we have things such as books from different cultures, maps, personal stories and beliefs, and anything that students would like to have or bring from home to share with their peers. It's almost like a safe space that students can express and be comfortable in their culture.
Thanks, Jessica. It's good to see that you're encouraging your students to research and share information about their ethnic background. It's great to see that you've created the Culture Corner, which the students can use to reflect on their personal backgrounds and beliefs. How might you design and use materials that are culturally inclusive?
Thank you. As I said before, we really pride ourselves in making sure we are being as culturally inclusive as we can be. We like to try relate subjects back to the individual's background. Example with art and literacy texts. We have times where we can share family history and stories. We actually have a project that the students are currently doing that are posters about their family culture that we will be hanging in our classrooms. We have accessible cultural diverse books for the students, alphabets in different languages around the classroom, and also play games from different cultures. Our main thing we do though is something that is newly implemented, which is our Culture Day. One day a week we have Culture Day and we pick a culture that one of our students come from and celebrate it, which is really fun and the students love it. So we do things like bring food from the culture to traditional or common clothing. For one session of the day, we also study that culture, where students bring in something from home and we celebrate them.
It's good to see that the use of materials in the classroom is helping each student reflect on their background effectively. So turning over to Lauren now. Lauren, have you ever had any cases where you have had to implement a strategy for a particular student?
Yeah, Kirsty, we have. Lewis from Mexico is in year 1. He confessed to his mother he was worried that by learning English, he would at the same time be forgetting Spanish. His mother reassured him that she herself is bilingual, being very fluent in both Spanish and English. So now Lewis continues to read books in Spanish in class in the Cultural Corner and at home as well with his mother. He also uses Skype to talk to his father back in Mexico in Spanish, but he speaks English very fluently as well. Lewis's teacher and our school, Golden Hill Primary, have provided books in Spanish for him, which are kept in the Cultural Corner. In our classroom as well, we have a cultural wall where we have different words and sentences in different languages. Our school is very engaging and consciously makes choices to provide a feeling of belongingness and inclusivity to our students through Cultural Day. Lastly, our teachers are encouraged to, and at times monitored, to make sure they have a cultural approach to teaching. Culturally responsive teaching is using cultural knowledge, prior experiences, frames of reference, and performance styles of ethnically diverse students to make learning encounters more relevant and effective for them. According to Carson, not to consider how this background might affect language acquisition is to deny an essential aspect of these learners' experience and will ultimately lead to an incomplete and inaccurate description of their language learning.
It's really good to hear about your student Lewis. I'm able to see that the tools used in the classroom are helping the way he learns. What do you think are reasons for implementing cultural diversity in the classroom?
So we here at Golden Hill Primary believe that including cultural diversity in classrooms can broaden the students' understanding, appreciation and knowledge of other cultures. Discussions had about different cultures increases student engagement with each other, creating a harmonious classroom and an exciting and interesting lesson. Cultural diversity is useful in allowing for different lessons to be held to ensure that each child can make connections to the lesson. It also provides a range of different perspectives from each student and cultural backgrounds. Furthermore, providing lessons on a range of different topics to ensure that all cultures are mentioned ensures that each student is included and the topic is relatable. Not only does the teacher get to learn about different cultures through the students, but it opens the student's mind to a range of different worlds and they are able to learn from different perspectives. Including cultural diversity in the classroom provides a sense of belonging and trust for the student and their families, which leads me to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Having cultural diversity within the classroom ensures that self-actualization is met as we are helping students reach their full potential within themselves through creating lessons which are relatable, dense, and creative. Furthermore, it provides a sense of inclusivity and belongingness through conversations which can create friendships, fulfilling the child's psychological needs. It is crucial that the teachers are aware of the student's cultural background in order for them to effectively and successfully teach that student. Connecting with students makes a huge difference to the child's outlook and work ethic at school. Gardner's list of multiple intelligences can be strengthened through the use of informational lessons, which is in the hands of the teacher. Being able to relate to a lesson is going to strengthen the students' intelligences. They will be proactively learning.
Thank you, Lauren. Golden Hill Primary is really working to include cultural diversity in the classroom. A culturally responsive curriculum is both inclusive in that it ensures that all students are included within all aspects of the school, and it acknowledges the unique differences students may possess. A culturally responsive curriculum also encourages teachers' understanding and recognition of each student's non-school cultural life and background, and provides a means for them to incorporate this information into the curriculum, thus promoting inclusion. Schools have the responsibility to teach all students how to synthesize cultural differences into their knowledge base in order to facilitate students' personal and professional success in a diverse world. It helps students from an ethnic and racial background develop a sense of identity as individuals, as well as proudly identify with their particular culture group. Teachers play a big role in helping these students succeed through the establishment of culturally responsive classrooms, and it's good to see that the teachers of Golden Hill Primary are following this curriculum. A big thanks to you both for sharing how your school incorporates cultural diversity into the classroom.
Thanks for coming out to talk to us, Kirsty, and I hope for anyone listening that the information discussed was useful and relatable. Thanks again.